as we all know, Reform came out with a splash, and Nigel Farage's, again, we say surprise, but the reality is, with the way things were going with Donald Trump at the time, he needed to put some distance between him and his friend Don. Um, Even still the case now, as you've seen in America, Jesus Christ, guys, Jesus Christ. Bear in mind, I am not doomering about this. I think Trump's chances of winning are not 100%. I don't think they're 50%. I think they are probably roughly around 30%. There is a lot of stuff that the Dems, if they go heavily into it, abortion, the Supreme Court, a lot of stuff they could do and bring up just to show how bad Trump is and how good Biden has really done quite a good job. So please get on with that. Like I say, I roughly think it's somewhere around 30%, really, Trump's chances of winning. But again, 30% still very too much high for me. But meanwhile, of course, you've seen, of course, Nigel Farage and his comments about NATO and Russia heavily, heavily really affecting his vote share. Not only that, we had the secret recordings from, you know, from Channel 4. Not only that, we've had multiple now of showing Reform candidates, even in the constituency where I am, Barnsley North. The Reform candidate has, Nigel Farage, should we say, has distanced themselves from the Barnsley North Reform candidate. And now we get this morning that there was a defection. Not one defection, but two defections. Two Reform candidates have stood down because of, to quote one, where is it? Here it is, over racist, misogynistic, and bigoted candidates. Oof. So yeah, this is not good, really, for Reform. I think this is going to be a big turnoff, and I think this might be the godsend for the Conservatives, because when you've got candidates jumping ship, they ain't gonna, the public is gonna go, maybe not. And just a couple of days ago, we did cover what that guy said on the, I think he was a cabbie in Clacton, saying, well, I don't really like those, NATO comments that he made. Might not vote for, Farage, on Thursday. That's a very optimistic sign. But this now happening on a wider, potentially on a wider scale. There've been two so far. Who knows if there'll be more? But hey, maybe these people realized, actually, really don't want to be known, that I stood for Reform. And it certainly seems this might be the case. But before we do get into this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can well buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. So let's crack on to this with the BBC covering this. So this was the first one to go. So Reform candidate has now suspended her campaign and defected to the Conservatives because, quote, the vast majority of her fellow candidates are racist, misogynistic, and bigoted. Georgie David, the Reform candidate for West Ham and Beckerton, said that she had been, quote, frustrated and dismayed by Nigel Farage's failure to tackle concerns about the Reform's candidates, though she said she did not believe Reform's senior leadership are racist. You have such concerns about all these candidates, but I don't think the senior leadership is racist. Why do you think all those people are attracted to your party? Why do you think they joined your party? It is because they share the same beliefs with the senior leadership. It's just that she was probably there, saw what was going on, heard what was being said, and went, actually, this is just a bit too toxic. And she decided to get out while the getting was good. But this is what she said in her little stepping down speech. So, Davis said, I am hereby announcing my decision to leave the Reform Party and stand down as their candidate for West Ham and Beckton with immediate effect. I am in no doubt that the vast majority and its senior leadership are not racist. However, as the vast majority of candidates are indeed racist, misogynistic, and bigoted, I do not wish to be directly associated with people who hold such views and are so vastly opposed to my own and what I stand for. Then why did you stand for reform? Because guess what? Headline news, it is not news that these people, shockingly, have been racist, misogynistic, and bigoted. This is not headline news. It's just somebody who went, I'm going to go stand for reform, got there and went, oh, this seems a bit too racist for me. At least she caught on. At least she eventually caught on, I suppose. There you go. But she also continued to say, I have been significantly frustrated and dismayed by the failure of the Reform Party's leadership to tackle this issue in any meaningful way and their attempts to instead and try and brush it under the carpet or even cry foul play. As such, I have now suspended my campaign with the Reform and I am endorsing the Conservative Party, and I encourage all my fellow patriots to do the same. So, yes, there was that. But she's not alone, and I have to wonder, will there be others in coming days? Because you've had this second Reform candidate. So this guy, Liam Booth Isherwood, who was standing in Earsham, also defected to the Tories. He said, reports of widespread racism and sexism among Reform candidates as the reason for leaving, and said that it was, quote, a significant moral issue if in parts of Nigel Farage's party. And then this is what they've come out and said as well. Reform's UK chairman Richard Trice claimed that Reform candidates were being offered jobs and inducements to, quote, persuade them to talk badly of Reform and stand down and then endorse the Tory candidate. Whoops. No, this is just Reform. This is just Reform. And those two people thought, for whatever God knows reason, ignored the fact that we've been saying for years, this is what Reform are like. That's what UKIP are like. It's what they are. And when they finally got involved, when they finally, saw that undercover reporting, maybe, that, female candidate experienced it herself and went, are we shocked? Should we be shocked? Absolutely not. Just at least you found out now, guys. At least you found out now. But, good job, I suppose, realizing what Reform actually were. But we've only been saying this for years. But hey, at least you finally realized yourselves, right? So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, click the like, click the share button. And of course, we'll see you all next time.